Finally, the Marriott surveillance footage showing Michael Irvin's interaction with his accuser in his $100 million defamation lawsuit against Marriott has been released to the public for everybody to see. In this video, we'll watch highlights from Irvin's March 14th press conference, during which he and his lawyer played the video for everyone to see and answered questions from reporters. Before playing the surveillance video, Irvin's lawyer explained that he had just refiled the lawsuit in an Arizona state court.
We dismissed the federal court case. That is true. We did what's called a Rule 41 procedure. The case was refiled immediately and has already been refiled in Arizona in state court.
In addition to Marriott International Inc. and Jane Doe, Irvin's new complaint adds a number of new parties as defendants to the lawsuit.
Now that we know who's involved, we've sued 4 individuals that are listed by name in the complaint. We've listed the company that operates this hotel out in Arizona, and of course we have added Marriott International again.
Michael Irvin also gave a brief statement before playing the video footage. Here's what he had to say.
I think we're ready to go to the tape.
But before we go to the tape, let me say this. You know, I'm in between big businesses here, businesses that make billions of dollars with and for each other. But when you get called in a room and you're said, somebody tells you, hey, pack your bags, you're relieved of duty, go home. And I said, why? What happened? Well, you sexually assaulted somebody. I said, who, when? What? And nobody was in my room. Well, don't worry about it. Go home. We'll talk about it. I said, wait, if you're telling me I'm doing something and I do not know what I'm doing, you can't tell me to just go home. I'm saying, how can you say I'm doing something and I don't know it and you tell me to go home? I'm just thankful. I'm just so thankful for those witnesses. I'm so thankful for this video, because without it, I just don't know where this would have gone. This is what they're calling sexual assault. It just, you can run the video.
Now let's look at a side-by-side comparison of Marriott's description of the interaction between Irvin and his accuser and the actual surveillance footage of that interaction. First, Marriott claimed that Irvin, quote, appeared to be visibly intoxicated when he entered the hotel lobby after taking photos outside with the 2 TMZ witnesses. The parties also dispute who initiated the interaction. Marriott claims that Irvin, quote, flagged down the employee as she entered the bar. During the March 14th press conference, however, Irvin's lawyer said the employee actually initiated the interaction, not Irvin.
When you see the complaining employee come out for the first time in the video, where she's going makes no sense if she's not trying to intercept Mr. Irvin. She clearly has no reason to be walking where she's walking as part of her job duties. It's pretty clear she's making a line of sight over to Michael to talk to Michael.
So here's the surveillance footage of Irvin re-entering the lobby after taking photos with the TMZ witnesses.
Also, when she walks up, you'll see she kind of looks around the pole to see if Michael is still coming. You see her just barely duck her head. Here she comes. Okay. Right there. You see how she stuck her head to the right? Now pause it.
At the beginning of their interaction, according to Marriott, quote, Irvin shook her hand, asked if she works there and what she did there. The victim confirmed that she worked there and asked if she could help Irvin with anything. Irvin then stated that she was attractive and reached out to shake her hand, asked her name, and introduced himself as Michael. Here is the surveillance footage of the beginning of Irvin's conversation with the accuser.
Expression when he does. See the claps? I don't know what that is. Then he comes up here and you can see he's visibly frustrated at what's going on somehow with her. Now let's take your focus back to Michael and her, because you can see they have friendly interaction, the body language is good, and they're just talking. In fact, if you see, he keeps more space from him than he does when he's talking to any male at any point in the bar. Some of y'all probably wish he'd keep more space when he talked to you. That's pacing, hitting his hands. He's upset over there on the left with whatever's happening. The guy in the gray up top, that's the security guard that's wandering around. He'll circle around many times around Michael and her. Pause it 1 second.
Marriott then goes on to say that, quote, Irvin also reached out and touched the victim's arm during this conversation without her consent, causing her to step back, becoming visibly uncomfortable. If you watch the video, it actually shows that Irvin touched the accuser's elbow once and then buckled over laughing, and it appears to be grazed or touched her elbow or arm a second time.
That's where she tells some kind of joke, I believe, to him. You see him kind of bend over. She's shaking her head back and forth like that.
Marriott claims that after Irvin touched her elbow, Irvin then asked the victim whether she had ever been with a black man, but in more crude terms. Quote, taken aback by Irvin's comments, the victim responded that his comments were inappropriate and she did not wish to discuss it further. Irvin then attempted to grab the victim's hand again and said he was sorry if he brought up bad memories for her. The victim pulled her hand away and tried to back away from Irvin as he continued to move toward her. I could not find anywhere in the video, and I watched this several times, where Irvin tried to shake her hand, but she pulled her hand back. That's just not in the video from what I saw. As you'll see in the clip, though, Irvin does in fact step towards the accuser, but at no point does she actually step away from Irvin or recoil her hand or look concerned in any kind of way.
He walked in closer to her. She didn't back up at all.
Marriott claimed that, quote, 2 hotel employees noticed that the victim had a look of concern on her face and began moving toward Irvin and the victim, prompting Irvin to state that, quote, security had noticed him and extends his hand for another handshake. Seeing the other hotel employees were in the area and wanting the interaction to end, the victim returned the handshake. Here's the portion of the video where the 2 employees approach Irvin because they allegedly saw a look of concern on Jane Doe's face, and then Irvin and Jane Doe shake hands one last time before she parts.
Now they're shaking hands. Now I want you to watch the end interaction here, because she's going to kind of, when the people come up, she'll kick her leg. As she walks off, she's still talking to Michael over the shoulder, all friendly. There you go. Kicks her leg. And see right here, she's going to look back over her shoulder.
Marriott then claimed that, quote, the victim then left the interaction to assist another employee who was waiting for her at the dust cutter, the bar, with Irvin leering at her as she walked away. Now, as Irvin's lawyer pointed out during the press conference while he was showing the surveillance footage, the video clearly shows that Irvin was not even looking in Jane Doe's direction as she walked away with her manager on the opposite side of the screen.
They claim he was leering at her. When he looks back at the bar, she's way gone. Because you're about to watch, she's going to go over here, and that guy is going to go he's going to get very visibly upset with her. And basically, there's somebody who's, I don't want to use the word abusive, but there's somebody who's really being forward to her. It's this gentleman here. It wasn't Michael. So watch what happens. Okay, go ahead and roll the tape. You see him grab her, and she follows that pause. Now Michael's looking over there for the first time. He's not watching her. He's talking to these guys. You'll see in a second they turn around and they start talking to him, the guy in the white hat.
Next, Marriott claimed that, quote, as the victim was walking away, another employee, employee number 1, walked over to Irvin. After Irvin finished leering at the victim and turned back to employee number 1, he said aloud, she bad, I want to hit that, and slapped himself in the face 3 times, saying, keep it together, Mike. Now, the surveillance video does show Irvin slapping himself in the face 3 times, but there is no audio, so we can't hear what he's saying.
See? Now Michael walks out to go take a selfie with this, we believe, Renaissance employee, 99% sure. And the security guy stays right there with him, who's been around for the whole conversation, really.
Presumably, Marriott's attorneys are getting the she bad, I want to hit that from one of the hotel employees, but those employees are employed by the defendant, and certainly the credibility of their statements is in question given their reliance on Marriott for a paycheck. Now, after showing the surveillance footage, Irvin and his lawyer took a few questions from reporters. Irvin fired back at Marriott for claiming that it removed him from the hotel because he posed a safety threat to the Jane Doe accuser.
These fellas, they said basically, well, we had to move her because Michael said he stays here. Like, I'm going to hunt her down, kidnap somebody, and kill somebody. Come on. It's just mess. Here's the truth. We used to say when we played football, die in the sky, don't tell no lie. It's just the truth. We talk and tell lies, but the eye in the sky don't tell no lie.
I think we're good.
So what Marriott has tried to do here is paint a picture of an escalatingly concerning interaction between Irvin and the accuser. Irvin starting out as targeting her as though he's some drunk predator, and where she is showing escalating concern and recoiling from the interaction. But from what I'm seeing in the video footage, that is just not the case. That is just not what I am seeing with my own eyes. And if you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comment section. But my guess is most people watching this footage are going to say, Marriott, you are grossly exaggerating what is happening here. And that this was a friendly, jovial, friendly conversation between Irvin and a staff member. It just doesn't line up with what Marriott is saying. If you like this video and you don't want to miss any of the new developments in this case, make sure to hit that subscribe button below and turn the bell notification icon on. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.